YouTube, youtube.com/Clay Kane Show, youtube.com/Clay Kane Show. What's up, people? Very happy to be here. If you are a new subscriber, this is my show. We air Monday through Friday on Sirius XM Urban View channel 126, and we air from 12 to 3. And my girl Reecie is on. She is on Tuesdays and Thursdays, has her own show every Saturday right here on Urban View. So make sure you follow Reecie at Reecie Colbert, REECIE Colbert. Follow her, subscribe to her YouTube channel as well, and pick up her game. Am I tripping? Pick up her game. You got to check it out. Check it out. It's a good time. It's a good time. So yeah, we're here. Very, very happy to be here. All right. So I want to talk a bit about the candidate in Maine. He's running for senator.
Yes.
And he is looking to challenge Susan Collins. Right? Looking to challenge Susan Collins. Susan Collins is somebody who I've never trusted and who I do not like. And they feel like she is the moderate one. Right? So he is getting some heat for some past posts he put on Reddit, and also for a tattoo that people say is a Nazi tattoo that he's had covered up. And his name is
He had covered up yesterday.
Oh, was it yesterday he had it covered up?
It was yesterday he had it covered up, yeah.
Oh, okay. Right, that's Graham Platner. Am I saying it right?
Platner. I think that's how you say it. That's how I've been saying it.
All right. So he has all these posts he's put on social media, and it's over 1,800 posts from 2009 to 2021.
Okay.
On Reddit. That's a lot of posts. That's a lot of posting. Ain't that something? Like you just posted away.
Yeah, time
1,800?
Time on my hands. Since you
since Reddit's been away. Like, he said, I ain't got no plans, Reddit.
I ain't got no plans. No.
I'm typing racism. I'm typing hatred.
Sexism. Black people don't tip. You need to tip your bartenders.
Oh my God. He said, oh. So that's one of the things. He said, why don't black people tip? And he's from Maine. So I guess I don't know the whole. I guess he moved from Maine to DC, and he met all these melanated people, and he said they don't tip because white folks tip so well. White folks
that's
tip
a fucking
so
lie.
amazing.
He was not in DC experiencing black.
What was it, DC?
He said that he moved to DC, and he noticed in DC that the black people didn't tip. They would tip between 0 and 5%. First of all, you're not in an area where you would have anybody black come in where you would not tip, where they would not tip. That's not how DC works. So, yeah.
Well, I want to play a bit of a clip of him addressing these past internet posts. It's kind of long, so don't play the whole thing. But here is he wants to be your future Democratic Senator of Maine, Graham Platner. Listen to this.
The first Reddit post I wanted to ask you about is from 2013. So someone wrote on Reddit, what is one question you've always wanted to ask someone of another race? You responded, why don't black people tip? I work as a bartender, and it always amazes me how solid the stereotype is. Every now and again, a black patron will leave a 15 to 20% tip, but usually it is between 0 and 5%. There's got to be a reason behind it. What is it? End of quote. How did you feel rereading that post? And what's your response to people who hear that and think that is like textbook racism and it's offensive?
I mean, one, I was legitimately asking the question. I mean, that was the point of the thread, was to ask the question. Amusingly enough, I remember this time when I had first started bartending, and then I had a conversation with a friend of mine who was black, who was a bartender, who did a great job of walking me through structural injustice and the fact of feelings of lack of agency. There were a whole bunch of reasons, and after that, I was like, oh yeah, that makes absolutely perfect sense. It was certainly not meant as a malicious thing. I was asking the question because that was kind of the point of the thread, actually.
So you're saying that this is not something that you were shitposting about. This was not something that you felt, it wasn't meant to be a commentary. It was a question you were sincerely asking on a Reddit thread because you thought there might be some sort of like cultural explanation or something. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, I like there was I grew up in Maine. I had never bartended before. I was living in Washington, D.C. And I honestly, I reread a lot of the comments for obvious reasons. Many of them I'm like, oh God. That one I must say, I was legitimately curious.
Maine is a really important Senate race, and Democrats are worried that if you're the nominee, like Susan Collins or the many super PACs that support Republicans will spend $50 million, $100 million on negative ads featuring a bunch of these Reddit posts. There's ones where you call yourself a communist. There's ones where you call police officers bastards. There's one where you say that rural white Americans actually are racist and stupid. What do you say to that, and how do you combat that?
Yeah, first, those were definitely, that was me trying to get a rise out of people on the internet. Those are not reflective of those weren't even reflective of my opinions back then. I would say that it is a little rich hearing about this right now when just last week there was a pro Susan Collins ad run with Janet Mills in it saying nice things about her. Like it is a... And I also, quite frankly, think that as I go around the state of Maine and talk to people, which we've been doing.
Take it down. A couple of things. One, I just think it's hilarious that he needed. I want to know who this black friend is. I need to know who is this black friend that had to break you down the structural underpinnings of allegedly all these people who weren't tipping. That's just funny to me. That you called on the melanated person to try and break that down for you. I want the interview with that person. I think it's funny. There's the excuse of Maine. We hear that a lot. Oh, well, I didn't know any better. But his whole thing is, I was asking a legitimate question, but the question wasn't legitimate.
It's not.
It wasn't.
It's not.
It wasn't legitimate at all. It was bullshit. It was stupidity. It was dumb. And I'll also add that the folks on the right, they don't care about this talking point, but they are calling him a communist, and they didn't like the comments he made about rural white folks, all that kind of stuff. But I feel like, isn't there somebody better? And the whole idea of the tattoo when you didn't know what it really was. Isn't there somebody better? Isn't there somebody better out there? I'm sure there is. And listen, let this be a lesson to everybody out there. Be careful. He's a grown ass man. How old is this man? How old is Graham?
He got to be in his 40s.
Yeah, you're posting this stuff to get a rise out of people and everything. I just think it's funny, but I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised.
Hell no.
What do you think, Reecie?
Here's the thing. You heard the politician's answer when he talked about the rural whites, when he talked about the comments. Oh, those are not reflective of my views. Those aren't more. Hey, that's the politician answer. So you'll get a politician answer for everything but black people don't tip. You stood on the racist stereotype that black people don't tip. Matter of fact, you said it was a legitimate question. And the white guy, Tommy, whoever his last name is, he was gobsmacked because he thought, okay, this is the easy one. He gonna sit up there and say it's never appropriate to stereotype anybody of any race. I shouldn't have done that. Those are not my views. That's exactly what the fuck you think. But what you're supposed to do as an intelligent politician is lie, bitch. You're supposed to say that ain't how I really feel. Even though we know that's how the fuck you feel. We know that's how a lot of white people feel. We, as black people, we've heard that our whole fucking lives. Oh, black people don't tip. Black people don't tip. So it's not a revelation that a white man from white ass Maine thinks that black people don't tip. That's not a revelation. The revelation is. But you're supposed to fucking lie. Duh. Just like your dumb ass out there lied that you didn't know what the fuck the tattoo meant. That Nazi tattoo. You lied about that, right? You lied about how you didn't know what X. You just don't know shit about shit. But people should vote for you. It's very telling that of all the things he's willing to give the politician's answer for, he has made the calculation, probably a relatively correct calculation, by the way, that he can double down on racism against Black people. And like I said, the white man was surprised. He was like, so you're saying that you thought that there was a cultural he was like, I'm trying to help your motherfucking ass out. Like, and he was like, yeah, there's a cultural reason why these Black motherfuckers can't help themselves. Black people don't have agency, and that's why we don't tip. What? Clay, you the historian. I know that people talk about there's a racist history of tipping and all that shit. I have never heard any kind of historical explanation that says Black motherfuckers don't have agency and Black motherfuckers have structural injustices as to why we don't tip, because we actually do tip. But he doubled down on the premise. So like I said,
right.
White people being racist doesn't surprise. I know not all. But what is appalling, it's not shocking, but what is appalling is that you won't even humor Black motherfuckers and say that you don't believe that that's how you feel. That wasn't representative. You know, it was an ignorant question that he should have said. It was an ignorant question to ask.
Right. It was an ignorant, dumb question.
Unacceptable to stereotype people of any race. You don't have to say Black people. You can say of any race.
Right.
Of any, or you could have said any group. You shouldn't stereotype anybody for any reason ever.
Right.
But he didn't even, he thinks so lowly of Black people. He won't even do that much. And what's more appalling, okay, he racist. All the evidence is there, chair. Y'all want to give white men the benefit of the doubt so bad, cool. But you had all these white progressives is what I call them, because I'm not going to let y'all claim the progressive mantle. I'm not going to let you do that, because being progressive requires that you recognize the humanity and citizenship of Black people. And they don't do that. So the progressives was out there defending his motherfucking ass about all this shit. There's nothing that a white man that they like, a oyster farmer, a Black Rock fighter, or whatever the fuck you call them, consultant mercenary. There's nothing that they can do that is beyond the pale. Everything is defensible for them, because just like the MAGA Trump voter, what white people who the progressives and the Joe Scarboroughs, because it's not just an ideological thing. This is a feeling that not all, if it don't apply, let it fly.
Absolutely.
But white people have to feel like being racist is not disqualifying. That racist views, stereotypical views, bigoted views is not disqualifying. It doesn't make you a bad person. And so they will identify with a person who says things and believes things like this, because they know that either they currently or presently feel like that, or they have in the past said things like that. They've defended Nazism. They've used N-word. They've done whatever the fuck else. And so it pains many of them to ever acknowledge, hey, this is fucked up. You shouldn't behave like this. You shouldn't think like this. So they're always going to default, those that this applies to are going to default to rationalizing, to excusing, to babying, and to defending this kind of behavior. That's what they're going to do. That's different from Black people, where Black people will try to check your ass for doing some shit that's going to make Black people look bad. I'm using that in air quotes. We ain't got a problem saying, we ain't with that shit. Nah, we ain't claiming that. We don't have a problem saying that. But with them, they always identify with the person, not always. Those that this applies to identify with people like Graham Platner. So the Black shit ain't going to be disqualified. This Nazi shit, that's a different story. Then he was saying, they said they had some anti-gay posts as well. That's what's going to be disqualifying. But it goes to show, even within the Democratic Party, you still have Democrats, especially these progressives, that think they can play in our Black ass faces, and that I don't work.
Well, listen to Bernie Sanders explain this. Listen to good old Democratic socialist Bernie Sanders explain, Mr. Graham. Check this out.
Your candidate in Maine, running for Senate, Graham Platner, has been subject to a lot of fire and fury, stories of old posts, crude comments about Black diners, about rural white people. You said yesterday you are still supporting him. Why?
I'm not overly impressed by a squad of media running around saying, what do you think about the tattoo on Graham Platner's chest? Between you and me, there might be one or two more important issues, but let me go there. I'm not Graham's best friend. I met him several times. We did a rally in Portland, Maine, a great rally. I am impressed by the guy. This is a guy who will tell you who has served 4 tours of duty with the United States military. He was in the middle of some heavy duty combat. He was a machine gunner. That's what you do. You mow down people, you know? He went through some very difficult experiences in the military as a machine gunner, seeing his friends killed. Came out of the military. He will acknowledge, I'm not telling you what he doesn't say, he had PTSD. He went to the VA, and by the way, what he says, they rebuilt his life, all right? He went into a dark period in his life. I suspect that Graham Platner is not the only American to have gone through a dark period. But what he did was he expressed his darkness on the internet. Probably not a brilliant thing to do, all right? And he said things that are stupid, things that were hurtful. He has apologized for them. And what he says now, the guy that I saw up on the stage in Portland, Maine, rather a brilliant guy. I mean, really a strong fighter for the working class, very articulate, very smart. And what he said is,
he's more, you could take it down. He's more loving of him than he was of Kamala Harris and Hillary Clinton.
Because I thought you can't ever talk about rural white people. I thought the problem with Kamala was he been talking about the Democratic Party looks down on the working class for so long, but this white motherfucker that stand up here and say rural white people are racist, and that's all.
I'll be geez. You know, let me say this. You're old enough to serve 3 or 4 tours in the Marines, yet you don't know what the Nazi skull and crossbones stand for. Like, for real? You don't know that? And then even I'm concerned about even your political strategy. This is some basic shit. This is not complicated. Yeah. You don't know how to handle posts you got on Reddit? For real?
Yeah, you should purge that shit.
Then you get the tattoo, and I looked it up. You're showing your bare chest to prove to people that you gotta. I mean, even outside of what you said was disgusting, your campaign is already a mess. It's already a mess. You already losing. And we ain't even close to the primary. And there are other folks are saying in the comments, other folks who are running as well.
There's a lot of people running. There's 15 people running for the nomination.
So y'all don't know how to. Why didn't they vet him?
Well, this is vetting. That's what a campaign does. The campaign.
No, but he didn't.
He didn't vet his damn self.
Better responses.
He should have vetted himself. You're supposed to go delete all your shit. Yeah.
Right. So I just thought it was interesting, and yeah.
But be very clear. He has not apologized.
Exactly.
About what he said about Black people. He said in the year of our Lord 2025 that asking why Black people don't trip. Mind you, in that question, it wasn't just a question. He said, I found that the stereotype is largely true.
Yeah.
He said that was legitimate. And he said he got an explanation from another Black person who was, I guess, the spokesperson of the Black non-tipping race.
The handful of Black folks he met as a bartender in DC, you know.
Which I don't even believe. I honestly don't believe that really even happened. Because see, white people have a chance get to be individuals. So when white people don't tip a white man, he doesn't say white people don't tip. He says that guy was an asshole. When a Black person doesn't tip him, who he just started as a bartender, he's probably making shitty drinks. Because how the fuck you become a bartender in goddamn DC and you ain't know how to fucking make a goddamn log?
Maybe you were just a bad white bartender. Yeah. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe it wasn't the Black customer. It was you as the white bartender. I don't know. Maybe that's what it was.
And here you have Jody. I don't know if Jody's Black or whatever. There's going to be Black people who agree with racist stereotypes. So regardless of whether you agree with that statement or not, I'm not going to debate whether Black people tip because that's a stupid fucking debate.
Exactly.
I don't know one Black person who does not tip. I don't know not one single solid. I live in the DMV area. I don't know anybody who does not tip. Does that mean that every Black person huh?
You know, don't tip like that? Europeans.
Yeah, they don't tip in Europe like that.
In most parts of Europe, they don't have tipping.
Yeah.
That's a fact that tipping is new when you come here. So
right.
It's just ridiculous.
But my whole point is, Okay, I don't know any Black people who don't tip, but does that mean that every Black person tips? No. This is all anecdotes, all personal experience. People have different experiences, whatever. That's fine. Regardless of whether or not you agree with him, that's your experience. The fact that as a political strategy, you're already, it's not like Donald Trump who don't ever say sorry for shit, or JD Vance who never say sorry. The Republicans don't fucking apologize. That would be different. If you're like, fuck you, I'm not apologizing ever. That's a political strategy. But if your political strategy is to go on an apology tour and come up with these elaborate explanations, why you don't know you have a fucking Nazi tattoo. Well, I have fucking PTSD, and that's why I was shit posting. That's your political strategy to already apologize for all of these things, except for a racist stereotype about Black people. That's where you draw the line. That's where you say that's legitimate. That's what you double down on. That's a political strategy. So I have a problem with a political strategy that shits on Black people, that says, who gonna fucking check me, boo? Because I'm running in a white ass state of Maine and there ain't no Black people in Maine. So I don't give a fuck. I can say whatever racist shit I want to say about them. That's what I have a problem with. And I have a problem with defending that attitude. That's another thing that I have a problem with, because they call that a litmus test. Having racist stereotypical views is a purity test, rather. Well, it's not a purity test. It is a litmus test for me. If you can't even fucking humor a bitch with your fake not being racist ass, then I can't even trust you. So now I know for a fact that you fucking racist. So I'm definitely not voting for your ass. I got to take a chance as to, well, they say they're not racist. They say they condemn this, but what do they really do? I got to take a chance on everybody else. But you showing me your ass and you giving me your ass to kiss by telling me, yeah, I really think this. And people who can have adverse stereotypical views about an entire race based on limited experience, because he came from Maine, no Black people. Then he came to DC, it probably met 5 Black people. And now you've given a stereotypical view that you're doubling down on 10 years later. You're going to be setting policy where, are you going to do something about the fact that Black women are 3 times more likely to die in childbirth? Are you going to do something about the fact that Black children, the infant mortality increases when they don't have any Black doctor under their care? Are you going to do anything about any other problems? Or are you going to be one of those people that think that there is something innately wrong with Black people and our lack of agency? We don't have any fucking self-control. And so we do shit like we don't tip, or we do shit like we commit crime. That's the problem. It's the comfort that you have with having racist views about an entire race of people based on very little experience. That is disqualifying to me, period.
Let me say this. It reminds me of John Fetterman. John Fetterman, who is currently the senator of Pennsylvania. He received all this backlash because in 2013, he saw a person running and he chased the man down in his truck and held him at gunpoint.
Mm-hmm.
Black man. He stopped short of apologizing for it.
Oh, he never apologized.
Exactly. John Fetterman was the progressive. Mm-hmm. He could win Pennsylvania. That was an incident. It happened in 2013. Doesn't really matter. He's really, really progressive. He'll be good for the United States Senate. And you had other folks who were running, like Malcolm Kenyatta, who would have been incredible, and just dismiss it. It's okay. And a lot of the progressive bros jumped on John Fetterman because, he wears sweats and a hoodie all the time. He's one of us. Blah, 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 blah.
It looked like
he's
a slob.
Progressive, right? And he gets into Congress, and look at John Fetterman now.
Mm-hmm.
And Malcolm Kenyatta tried to tell us, look at John Fetterman now. So I feel like let's not make this mistake again. And I'm not a Maine. If Graham Platner, if he gets to the primary, que sera, sera, whatever the case may be. But I want to point out there have been scenarios where folks have warned us who this person is. And then when they get into Congress, Christian Cinema, the same thing. oh, she's the first bisexual person to get into Congress. She'll be so progressive. She'll be so great. There were folks trying to warn us about Kristen Sinema, or is it Kirsten Sinema, in Arizona. They were trying to warn us, but folks didn't listen. Okay, fine. She gets elected. She was a train wreck in Arizona.
Yep.
And John Fetterman, to me, is even worse than Kirsten Sinema. So I'm just saying, let's be clear when the warning signs are there. Now, the idea that he's the only one who could win, or come on. And the governor, Janet Mills, is running for senator as well, too. I want Susan Collins to be challenged, but I really, really want to be clear that when someone shows us this, I think it's disqualifying. And I have no issue saying it. I think it's disqualifying.
Period. Well, I think I don't think he has a chance. He just got too much shit going on. He got too much shit going on. And no telling what the fuck else they gonna find with his ass. Because this is like very early in the campaign. But it just shows you, this is why I don't take progressive seriously, because they got it. All the smoke for every Black official. They got all the smoke for everybody who's not for Medicare for all to their liking or whatever the fuck. But when it comes to their own kind, they don't check their own kind. They don't. It's all nothing but fucking excuses. It's nothing but goddamn excuses. So
Reecie, look at Eric Adams. Look at Eric Adams. Folks tried to warn folks about Eric Adams.
True.
It was all over New York. Eric Adams will be a disaster. Look at him. He was in a freaking mess. Can I just add really quickly? The NYC mayoral debate was last night.
That was swinging, huh?
It was very New York.
Yeah.
I mean, if y'all aren't in New York, I encourage you to watch it, because it's very New York. It's Andrew Cuomo, Zohran Mamdani, and Curtis Sliwa. Curtis was throwing punches, baby. Curtis was fighting. Curtis is so New York. Andrew Cuomo was a complete disaster. Mamdani was good like usual, but it was it's so New York. I want to play a clip of Mamdani calling out Cuomo. No, I'm sorry. I want to play this clip about Sliwa calling out the reason why Mamdani, Cuomo rather, had to step down. Listen to this.
Zohran, you talk about free, but we know that somebody's got to pay for it, and that's you, the taxpayers. And that's going to lead to bankruptcy. The only reason that Zohran is on the stage is because of the failed Governor Cuomo, who was rejected by the Democrats in the primary and rejected by 13 women who charged you with sexual harassment. Do you ever know that no means no? You know what no means?
Your question is to Mr. Mamdani. Who was your question
well, we can bifurcate it, right?
No. You can't. Who is your question
It's to Cuomo.
Okay. Your response, Mr. Cuomo.
I'm not sure what the man said, but the situation, my legal situation, as we discussed before, was fully litigated. I was dropped from the cases. If anyone has a legal situation to talk about, I think it's Mr. Sliwa, who runs the Guardian Angels, and apparently as a charitable donation, but never filed any tax returns for the Guardian Angels, and has been accepting charitable donations, which is just a crime and tax fraud. So I think that's the person who I was explaining to do.
Okay.
I want to be clear. He kept on saying that the charges were dropped, the sexual harassment charges. They were settled. It's a little bit different. Dropped and being settled are different. But one more clip. This is Mamdani destroying Cuomo, talking about the state. Listen to this, the state of New York.
Shame on you. It is always a pleasure to hear Andrew Cuomo create his own facts at every debate stage. We just had a former governor say in his own words that the city has been getting screwed by the state. Who was leading the state? It was you.
Governor Hochul.
You were leading the state for
Governor
10 years,
Hochul.
Screwing the city.
No.
You cut
You
homelessness
as a
funding.
legislator.
You cut funding for the
You
MTA.
as a
You did all
legislator.
of these things, my
That's
friend.
the
That's
past
you.
4 years. It's the past 4 years. Okay.
Wait, there was one more. Is this the other one about fled? Play the other ones. I don't know if this is the right one. That's my favorite part when he talks about you didn't resign from New York. You fled. Let's see if that's in the last clip.
Number of homeless since I left has more than doubled during his administration and the state's administration. Since I left, homeless rate has more than doubled. When I left, the vacancy rate on housing was 4.5%. It's now 1%. This man never even proposed a bill on housing or education. Never even proposed a bill.
Keep going back and forth between the two of you. Mr. Sleewer, it's your turn.
Andrew, you didn't leave. You fled from being impeached by the Democrats in the state legislature. Leave. You fled.
They was on each other's ass, man.
It was great. It was good. It was good. Listen, the election, early voting, I think begins on Saturday in New York.
Okay.
I encourage everybody to show up. I think Cuomo was done. Curtis Sliwa is so stubborn in a good way that he's not going to step down. He's not going to jump out of the race. He's reportedly been offered millions of dollars to leave the race, but he won't do it. You know, and I knew he wouldn't. He's an old school stubborn New Yorker. He's not gonna. He's not gonna go. He's gonna stay into the bitter end. But it's Scrappy and Mandani, and there were a couple moments. There are a bunch of bills they're voting on, early voting for these bills. And they were asking him, where does he stand on these bills? And he couldn't answer it. There was some some questions that had some substance to it that he did kind of stumble on. But everybody stumbles. But nonetheless, it's set up for him. It's his to lose. It's his to lose, and it's a really important race.
Yeah. Look, he got hella timing because
right.
And he's actually really lucky that Cuomo is in the race because the race is still more of a referendum on Cuomo than it is about Mamdani and his agenda. So look, hey, a win is a win. It don't matter why the fuck I won. I won because my opponent sucks, or I won because people really like me, or a little bit of both. Cool. But yeah, I think I like the scrappiness personally, and I think this is the kind of energy that people want to see from the Democratic Party around the country. There are some people who are scrappy, but don't pull any punches. Like the way that y'all will get up there and duke it out on that stage, have that energy every day, you know? And I've seen some other debates with Abigail Spanberger and with Mikey Sherrill. They didn't have that like I'll rip your head off energy, you know? So it's
Mikey
like
Sherrill does not have that at all.
Yeah, and I feel like people really want that's not to say they won't win. They probably would still win or they have a good chance, but that's the kind of energy. I'm not Team Cuomo, obviously, but hey, you fight. We all fighting together. Ain't nobody just sitting up there getting tossed around, and we ain't throwing some punches back. And so that's when people say they want to see some fight from Democrats, they want to see you out there calling a spade a spade. If you come from me, I'm gonna be like, well, wait a minute. What about that bill that you didn't do? And what about that time that you got arrested? And what about call it out? That's what they should be doing every single day. Every time somebody step up, that's what we need to see, you know? So that's what is missing. That energy is what's missing. I know it's New York, and maybe what happens in New York, you have to be Minnesota nice over here, or you got to be whatever over here. But more than anything, the reason why I think the Democratic Party brand is suffering is because there's too many punches being pulled. And now is not the time to hold back. Now is the time to call them out about everything every single time.
Absolutely. All right, we're gonna head to a break. We'll come back. We'll rock some calls. Reecie, you want to talk to the folks on the good
sure.
YouTube? All right, we'll let Reecie stay on, and we're gonna head to a break. Clay Kane Show. Be right back.
You're listening to the Clay Kane Show.
Somebody said Reecie for Congress. Oh no, honey. Oh no, I'm not cut out for Congress. My husband is a politician, and every time I go to one of his town meetings, I be getting into people. So I can't tolerate the stuff that politicians have to tolerate. I'll be done cuss somebody out for real. Let me see. Hey y'all, how y'all doing? Let me see what else I got. I'm gonna scroll up. I think Jody, you a troll, huh? Aren't you? Because you been saying contrarian stuff the whole time. He a little suspect. But I don't know. Somebody look at Jody's avatar. Is he black? Are they black? Let me see. Have you heard of Jordan Wood? Okay, I have heard of Jordan Wood. Yeah. He's LGBTQ candidate. He's the father. I've heard of him. I don't know. Janet Mills is old as shit, but she has won statewide. She's very popular. So yeah, I don't know why people are just so dead set against her because she old people win elections all the time. So yeah, I haven't seen that being old is disqualifying in terms of votes cast. And Susan Collins is old too. Let's see. Schumer girl. I know, look. I know. Brandon, look, Clay, I don't get involved in Clay's personal life, honey. So you ain't got a friend of Jesus. But hey, somebody said that from San Diego. Hey, Kay from San Diego. Hey, Tiff Critiques, Ladybug. Am I gonna be on any shows? I will be on CNN tomorrow if they don't redo it again. On Situation Room. It's like a radio segment though. Let me see. Hey y'all. Connor Lamb's gonna run against Federer. That might do it. Okay, bye y'all.